Welcome back to Booktalks Podcast. This is Kayla.
And Marissa.
And this week you read Happy Place by Emily Henry. I try to think back to how many Emily Henry books we've done. We definitely did People We Meet on Vacation.
Yeah.
Did we do Book Lover?
Yeah, we did Book Lover. That I was going to say. I feel like we've almost done one every season, but maybe we only started in like season 3 or something.
Well, she only has 4 of these romance books. She has some young adult ones I saw on her Amazon when I was looking at like the author, but she only has 4 romances. And I don't think we did Beach Tree because I remember reading Beach Tree when we first started our Instagram account, and I think I read that on my own. But I was trying to think of all the books that we've read for the podcast. So she's a 3-peat author for us. We do get a little like bitter when we pick her books because one time we asked them for like a review copy and they go, "How many followers do you have?" And we told them, and then they never answered us. We just didn't make the cut.
Yeah, the hardships of being a small-time book podcast.
So we're always hesitant because we're a little bitter, but we also like, I really love her romance books a lot. I feel like she's just really good at writing, I think. And I just love them all. I don't know how you feel. I feel very strongly about her writing and I really like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. I listened to this one, and when I turned it on, I was surprised because the person reading it has definitely read some of my thriller novels before, the narrator. And so I was like, did I pick up the right book? Like, isn't Emily Henry a romance writer? But I guess she just, used the same person who's read some of my thriller books. But no, like it was good. From the first page, I was captivated by it. Now, I didn't rate it as highly as you because I was annoyed by this stupid little friend group, and we'll get into that. But I was like, come on, you guys are like in your 30s. Stop getting naked in the lake. It's weird. But anyway, it was good though.
She does a lot of, I don't remember a Book Lover, but she does a lot of jumping in time. And I think she's actually kind of like good at it. Like normally we don't like that. I didn't mind that in this book. I think actually I hated it in People We Went on Vacation, because it would like go from trip to trip. But this time I was both interested in how they're gonna get back together again, and then also interested in why they broke up. So I was like captivated by both stories that were happening. It was like 2 pretty much big plot lines that were like meeting in the middle. So I was a fan of that. I really liked it. I think it's actually my favorite one of her books.
Well, about the dual timeline, something I thought was interesting. Now, I read someone's review of this, and they were actually leaving it a negative review, but I thought what they said was applicable and like not in a negative way. They were talking about how in her other books, there's like this tension of, they're not yet romantically involved. And so are they going to get romantically involved? Are they not? Whereas with this book, they were already married and they were like so in love. And so there wasn't that same tension, which I personally liked. Now, this person clearly is probably like an enemies to lovers type of thing. So they were like, that's a negative. And for me, I was like, they already had the history there. They already had that really close relationship. So it was just about coming back together in a way that worked for them. So I actually really liked that part of the dual timeline where like, we're not leading up to will they fall in love. We're seeing how they were in love and how it fell apart and how they're now coming back together, hopefully.
We also did get some of them falling in love. Like it wasn't as dramatic as she normally does it, but we still got that taste of them meeting and then falling in love and then them breaking up. So we got to see like their whole like love timeline. I like it because I like second chance romance. Like that's what the trope is, it's second chance romance. So I'm a fan of it. But yeah, I can see people who don't like second chance romance being it. I used to think I didn't. I used to steer away from like divorce books or like will our marriage be saved books and like stuff like that. But I think I've changed my opinion on it. Maybe because me and Tom are also second chance romance.
Oh, true. You guys are. I hadn't thought about that.
So maybe by personal experience, I've changed my opinion. Not that we were like engaged and broke up. We've actually never officially dated until now, but we've almost dated a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into it. So do you want to go back to the synopsis thing? We stopped reading synopsises.
Yeah, so I have a quick one. I wrote it down. It's literally one sentence. So it's Harriet and Wynn broke up 5 months ago, but now they have to pretend to be a couple to not ruin their best friend's surprise wedding. Boom chicka pow. So like tropes, like you said, second chance romance, fake dating. There was this found family. Like it hits on a lot of those big tropes that people like. So, pretty like wide encompassing net that she cast.
I think she also does a good job of the banter between Harry and Ellen. I think that actually like my favorite parts of her books is like it's just so witty.
Yeah. They always are.
I can never be this witty with a man. It's just not real.
Not on the spot. That's the thing. Like I will get a text because yes, guys do text me now. Side note, we'll get into that later. But I'll get a text and I will literally think about it for like 35 minutes, 45 minutes. And I'm like, how can I make this funny? Like, how can I respond to be witty? And that's like a text. I can't imagine in-person banter. Like, this is why I don't go on dates because I can't do it.
I'm boring, but yeah, like I can't. They're so quick with each other. I can't keep up. Also, one thing we did like is there wasn't an excess amount of hooking up.
Oh yeah.
It was like the perfect amount. There was some spice, but not too much spice. Everything in meetings. No, really big fan. I do question like so. I feel like I feel like my friends would know me enough to know if I'm like actually dating my boyfriend. Like,
yeah.
especially the way that Harriet explains that like Cleo and Sabrina have been her best friend for a year. They know her better than she knows herself. And in the end, we found out that like Sabrina ended up knowing, but like I don't understand how they didn't know something was up.
I personally don't understand how she kept it a secret for 5 months. I mean, that's the part that blows my mind because I mean, I say all the time, like, I'm not going to tell someone something. And then like 5 seconds later, I'm like, oh, by the way, this happens. So like, I just can't keep a secret. I can't relate to that. And then, yeah, like, I mean, fake it till you make it, I guess, but also they did have chemistry, so maybe people didn't pick up on it. I just can't imagine faking having chemistry with someone that I broke up with, I guess.
But I would have hated. I would have been so pissed.
Well, that's the thing. I still don't really, I understand why he broke up with her on the one hand. Like, I understand what he said about why he broke up with her. But on the other hand, and this is why I didn't rate the book as highly, because my reaction to a lot of the things is, that's so high school. Like when, come on, just talk to her. She wasn't cheating on you. She loved you. And like, you're acting immaturely by assuming she's giving up her life to be with you or whatever. Like, obviously she's in a relationship with you because she loves you and wants to make it work. So meet her halfway and make it work. And so him breaking up with her, I thought was annoying. And yeah, I can't imagine like pretending to be in love with someone who dumped me and me being like, why did you dump me?
Yeah, I think a real issue was like she didn't want to be a burden. So she retreated into herself, which I feel like I totally can relate to. Like I go so many times I'll be like, do you want me to do this for you? And I'm like, no, it's fine. And he's like, you can say yes, like it's fine. And I am like, but I don't want to be a burden. Like I have the same fear. So she would retreat in herself and he thought that she was just uninterested in him anymore. So big miscommunication trope right there as well. But I don't know, they've been dating for so long, they should just talk to each other.
Yeah. Weren't they together for like 12 years or something crazy?
Very long time.
Yeah, like a long time. I am genuinely surprised they broke up, but I will say I didn't like how they got back together. this was another reason because I do feel like she decided to just give up her career and life. And do you know how much debt she probably had as a doctor? And she's like, I'll just move to Montana and I'll do some paint classes. I'll make some clay or pottery or whatever, and it'll be fine. I won't worry about the hundreds of thousands of debt I have.
Well, that's the difference between her and us. She hated her job and felt like pressured into her job and decided to quit. We felt pressured into our job and didn't want to back out of our job even though we hate it, and we're still doing it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you quit and you came back. I quit and we'll see if I come back. But yeah, no.
We didn't quit to become anything artistic. Like we're like we
I quit to be a tax accountant.
I do think her parents like highly pressured her into that field, like most parents do. And I think her parents put all their like regrets on her, and she just like took it to heart.
Yeah.
So I don't fault her for moving to Montana. Like if I had the option of like free housing somewhere else where I didn't have to work and like find some job, just pay off my loans, I probably would do it. But no, actually, I don't think I would do it. But if it would be appealing if the love of my life is also there.
I think my issue with it was that at the start of the book, she didn't necessarily hate everything about her job. Like there were parts of being in her residency that she really liked, you know. Maybe it was just the same feeling I had when I started our job was like, oh, I put on my big girl corporate pants and I'm living the dream in New York City. And then reality sets in and you're like, holy crap, I want to leave. To put it nicely. So maybe it was just that. But like I did feel like at the start of the novel, she had good feelings about her job. And by the end, she's like, I never liked it anyway. I'll just move to Montana.
Well, she did say she really likes the admin work of her job and like everyone else hates it, but she's the only one who likes it.
That's we always said we would make great assistants, you know.
When do you first say of your new job?
November 15th.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, so I still have like 2 weeks, but October flew by. I don't know where October went. And I thought I read like 2 more books in October than what I actually read. So I don't know what happened if I thought September was October, but I was looking at my Goodreads and I was like, crap, my reading wrap up is going to be like 3 books. And 2 were for the podcast.
But I think that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Normalize reading not a billion books a month.
True.
I just had a good month. Normally I read like 2 or 3 as well. Definitely not what I was last year, but I'm thankful for it that we have it's balance. Life is balance.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the little twist in this book about like they have all these traditions and they go to like the bookstore and they do all these cute little things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think besides the falling in love, I did like their found family friend group, but you have qualms with it. You have issues.
Yeah, I think the problem is I'm not a found family kind of trope girl. Like found family does not speak to me. I think it's because I'm in my real life so big on blood family. I'm like, these are the people who are stuck with me, like it or not. Like my blood family, I will always come back to, no matter what happens with anyone else. I know my blood family's there. And so when I read about these found families, I'm like, do you guys not have parents that love you? I don't know.
Well, clearly she really didn't.
Yeah, true.
Sabrina's parents sucked.
Yeah. Although weren't Sabrina's parents the one that let them use the lake house like free of charge and all that?
I think it was a beach house, but I think her dad just did it to like, I think she wanted in a bed.
And
he was selling it.
Yeah, he was selling it.
Also, I don't understand why they were so upset about selling it. They all had jobs. Rent a house next year.
I thought the selling it was going to be fake. I don't know why, if I read too many thrillers, but I thought at the end Sabrina was going to be like, and just kidding, guys, that was just an excuse to get you all here. Like, let's do it again next year. But it wasn't fake.
That part was sad to me, but also like, you're grown-ass adults, just rent a house.
Well, and that was the thing. They're grown-ass adults, and the way they behaved, I again felt was very high school. Like even just the fighting amongst themselves. I'm like, you're 30 something, just talk to each other. Like it's not like you all have big girl jobs, big boy jobs, whatever. You're all dating each other. Like just talk it out. I don't know. It doesn't have to be this big thing.
I do think Sabrina was the worst. whenever like they first started dating and she's like, well, you guys can never break up now, and like made this like declaration, and I was like, I don't know, I just feel like the audacity.
I felt like she also ruined it at the end, being like, I'm the only person who cares about this friendship, because that kind of passive aggressive comment, like, even if you feel that way, there are better ways to handle it. Like, obviously the other people care about the friendship, but they're 30 something now. They have lives. Like, who was it? Cleo and Kimmy are looking to start a family. I mean, Sabrina's about to get married. Maybe she doesn't understand how marriage changes things, but like, they can still be friends, but things will never be the same. And I mean, I did like that message. That's the thing. As much as I didn't love how immature it was at times, I thought the message was very appropriate for our age right now. Cause like, you're in a relationship, like, we don't do the podcast as much as we used to because we, it was COVID. We had nothing else to do. Now I'm like here living my life, and it's like, things are different, and that's okay. And so it's a good message. Like, I just feel like Emily Henry has those deeper messages embedded in her books, which I like.
No, I hate that I actually always forget everything about her book because I just devour them in one sitting. So if I had to tell you what happened in Book Lover, I could not. But all I remember is that I loved it.
Yeah, it was something with, like, I can actually remember the opening chapter, but nothing else.
It's about town in like the South.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I remember
though.
Greek, maybe.
I do remember people we met on vacation a little bit better, only from a what happened standpoint, because they were on vacation all the time. That was the point of the book.
Had a really hot apartment in like Arizona or California, like the desert, and they had like sex on the balcony. I think that's all I remember from that book.
I mean, that was the gist of it.
And beach read, I literally read an entire day. Like, I just sat down one summer, and just during COVID, and read cover to cover and did not move from outside. But I remember it being like kind of New Englandy, and I remember it being, oh no, it was in Michigan. Yeah, it was in Michigan. It was like two writers, and they fell in love, and they like made out against the bookshelf, and it was like finally, and that's the only part I remember of those books. But every time I leave her books, I leave them loving it. I just don't remember the details because I've read them so fast.
A lot of the reviews I saw, people liked this one, but they still said Beach Read was her best. Do you have that feeling, or what do you think?
No, I like this one. I think I like Book Lover better than Beach Read, but only because of how much I love like the books, like in the whole like books and aspect, and also writing. Like, that one's really geared towards writers, and not that I would consider myself a writer because I really haven't written this year, but it always fascinates me, the process of writing and like publishing a book. So I like that aspect, basically with the same tension as the other ones. And I like the found family in this book too. So I read Beach Read like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I still haven't read it. I bought it after you read it because you were like, you have to read this. You'll love it. It's amazing. And I bought it. And to this day, I still haven't read it. I'm the worst.
You should it's probably at home. I'm like, you should bring it on our trip. So me and Marissa are going on a bookish mountain trip in 2 weeks.
Woohoo!
Secluded house in the top of the mountains in Tennessee to just read. And we have full glass like wall to look at the view, as we picked the comfiest couches we can find on Airbnb. I'm very excited. So I have to pack a suitcase full of books because I don't know what mood I'm going to be in.
Yeah. And that sucks for you because it sucks for me too. I don't have as many books here, but I'm going to drive my car, which means like I can bring whatever books I have. You actually have to fit them in a suitcase.
I do get one free checked bag for Delta, so I'll just pack a big one. And I made us the ultimate bookish goodie bags. So I have to pack those.
I can't wait. I'm excited to see them. You've been talking about them for months.
For a while now, so they're just like in my closet. So I'm excited to get them out of my closet because I don't have much room, but I thought of everything.
Wow.
I'm very excited for you to open it. I want to do like a video maybe, but I was gonna say you should bring Beach Read. I can bring Beach Read for you.
Okay.
If you want to read it.
And we'll both have Iron Flame.
We will. We will have Iron Flame. Yeah, I don't know what books I want to read. On one hand, I want to read romance books that I can read fast. But on the other hand, I'm like, but when am I ever gonna have like unsolicited time to read books? And then we read like a thick book that I need to get into.
Yeah, so for me, it'll be Iron Flame and maybe the second book in the Serpents and the Wings of Night series, because I figure that'll be big. Otherwise, it may be some Candy Steiner romances, because those I can like sit down and read in a day.
They're pretty good. I was thinking of my ultimate like favorite romance books, and I went back into like my Goodreads were like the 5-star books that I've given, which I skip 5 stars very freely. And I was debating putting the first book we read for the podcast. It was like Say
You Still Love Me.
I love. Actually, no, was it Kay Tucker or Candy Steiner?
It was Kay Tucker.
Oh, and I was debated adding it. I always get them confused. I don't know why. I love that book, but I did not add it to my ultimate romance list.
I still can't believe we did like 4 podcast episodes on that book.
We analyzed the crap out of it.
I have never thought so hard about a man pushing a woman up against a wall and kissing her before.
I can't imagine doing that with any book now. I have nothing to say that much. We recorded for hours.
I cannot believe we did that. Well, I mean, we went chapter by chapter.
We were going to do that for all the books.
We never would have read this many books if we'd taken that approach. There's no way.
Well, I think we edited it. We're like, just kidding. We can't do this.
8 hours of footage.
I cried. Yeah. We've definitely changed our model. But I think we have a system going for us. We usually record like 30 minutes. We're a little over today because it's been a while.
Yeah. We actually only have 4.5 minutes left in this. So I'm like, wow, this is going to be the perfect amount of time.
I know. Should we wrap it up? Did we talk about the book enough?
I don't know. Do we need to talk about it more? I will say one other thing I didn't like, maybe you disagree, is that I don't think Wynn had a personality. His banter was funny, but the only thing I remember about Wynn is he's from Montana, and that's it.
And it's funny because it's his like biggest insecurity.
Wynn, I'm so sorry, but that is the only thing I think about you now.
I don't think she had a personality really either, though.
Yeah, but she had a career, and so like at least she had something going for her.
Like they were both like kind of boring people.
They were, and maybe that's why like a simple life in Montana will work great for them.
Like all I remember is her friend saying she's brilliant, but we didn't get to see she's brilliant because we don't really know what we don't watch her be a doctor. We're just books. These people aren't real. But the only thing they said was that she was brilliant and she had good banter, but that was it. Now she likes pottery, and like that's all we know about her.
And like, I'm not throwing shade. If I had a man and I could just move to Montana and live simply, trust me, I would so be down for that. I hear these guys all the time being like, oh, my family's in Montana. And I'm like, sign me up. I'd like to go. Thank you. So, I mean, I'm happy for this couple. There wasn't much to them.
Yeah, maybe it isn't my favorite of her books now that we talk about it.
Oh no.
But I think it's fine that I realized that, because I think I would have went on being like, oh my God, best book ever. And I think I still stand by my 5-star review. Mm-hmm. It has everything that I love in a romance book. Mm-hmm. But I do think the people in the other books had more personality, except I don't think I like People Living on Vacation. That's my least favorite.
Yeah, I remember not loving that one as much either.
But yeah, no, I think they're boring, and that's why I'm okay with her moving to Montana.
But also,
studio.
I will say the other reason they may have been boring, and I'm stealing this from someone else's blog that I read. So this isn't an original thought by any means, but in this novel, she had 6 characters that she was developing, whereas the other ones, you were really focused on the man and the woman, and like she may have had other side characters, but because she had this friend group and they had prominent like parts in the book, you know, maybe if she'd taken them out, she could have developed Harriet and Win more. So maybe she just was juggling too many balls.
I do think the magic of this book is the friend group, though.
Yeah, I agree.
They all kind of were like these puzzle pieces for many lost people. Like, we don't really know much about Kimmy, but like it sounded like the rest of them all needed each other.
Mhm.
So I feel like they are their friend group.
Mhm.
And I think that's why Sabrina is so upset that no one reached out to her. But I think, yeah, she also doesn't realize that everyone's just busy or like figuring out their stuff,
Mhm.
and she's not giving them the grace to do that. So hopefully things change for them. Hopefully they start communicating better.
From the long distance of Montana, I hope she does start communicating better.
She's not a doctor anymore, so she'll have so much time to communicate.
It's true. It's true. 5-star review.
5-star by me.
Solid 4 for me.
Okay, I guess we'll wrap up quickly, hopefully. Thanks for listening. This is Kayla.
And Marissa.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Booktalks Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, also at Booktalks Podcast. Have a good night. Wait, I want to hear what these boys.
Oh, so many boys. So many
From
boys.
where? Is it from your Christian mingle?
It's eHarmony. Close.